They told you to drink 8 glasses of water a day. They were wrong. They told you to finish a tall glass of water right before bed to prevent strokes overnight. They were dangerously wrong. They told you that if you are waking up 2, 3, 4 times every night, it is just a normal part of getting older. They were wrong about that too. For decades, well-meaning doctors, magazines, morning shows, and neighbors have repeated the same handful of myths about water and aging, and millions of seniors are paying for those myths with the most precious thing they own at this stage of life: their sleep. You lie down at 10 o'clock. You close your eyes. And by midnight, your bladder is pulling you out of bed like a hand on your shoulder you cannot shake off. 2 o'clock, the bathroom. 4 o'clock, the bathroom again. By morning, you have not slept. You have survived the night in fragments. And here is the part that should make you angry. Most of what is happening to you was never about your age. It was about the rules you were told to follow. In the next 20 minutes, I am going to take you through 7 of those rules, and I am going to dismantle them one by one. By the time we reach the 7th, the one I have saved for the very end, you may feel a little stunned, because it is something almost every senior I have ever met does every single evening, believing with all their heart that it is good for them. And it may be the single biggest reason you cannot sleep through the night. I am Dr. Edward Hayes. For the past 19 years, I have worked almost exclusively with adults over 60. I am not here to sell you a supplement. I am not here to frighten you into clicking. I am here to give back to you the one thing no pill, no machine, and no clinic can replace: an honest understanding of your own body. Before we begin, I want to ask you one small favor. In the comments below, tell me one piece of advice about water or sleep that you have been following for years. And tell me your age. We will count, together, how many of these old myths are still being passed around. And somewhere out there, another viewer reading your comment may finally feel the courage to question what they were told. Now, let us start breaking these myths, one at a time. Number 7. The first myth: that you should spread your water intake evenly throughout the day. You have heard it everywhere. Drink a little in the morning, drink a little at lunch, drink a little in the afternoon, drink a little in the evening. It sounds responsible, it sounds healthy, and after the age of 60, it is one of the surest ways to guarantee you will be 8 glasses, evenly spaced, like the markings on a clock, wide awake at 2 o'clock in the morning, staring at the ceiling. Here is what almost no one explains to you. Your kidneys do not work the same way at 65 that they did at 35. They are still working. They are still doing their job faithfully every minute of every day. But the speed at which they process fluid has quietly slowed down with the decades. Think about the old water filter that sat on your kitchen counter or under your sink for years. When it was new, water ran through it almost as fast as you could pour. After 10, 15, 20 years of steady use, the same filter still cleans the water. It still does its job, but you can hear the difference. The water trickles where it once flowed. That is your kidneys after 60. The mechanism is intact. The pace is slower. And when you pour a heavy load of fluid through a slower filter late in the evening, the work does not finish on schedule. It finishes hours later, in your bed. At 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4, I had a viewer write to me a few months ago. A retired postal worker named Robert, 69 years old, from a small town in Ohio. Robert had been waking 3 and 4 times a night for almost 2 years. His doctor had checked his prostate. His blood work was clean. Nobody had ever sat him down and asked the simple question, when are you drinking your water? When Robert moved the bulk of his daily fluids to before 2 o'clock in the afternoon, drinking deeply in the morning and tapering off after lunch, his nighttime wake-ups dropped from 4 to 1 within 3 weeks. He did not take a new pill. He did not buy a single product. He shifted the clock, and his body finally rewarded him. So here is the truth that replaces the myth. Within 30 minutes of waking, drink a full glass of water. By mid-morning, drink another. Drink one with your lunch. By 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the largest part of your daily hydration should already be inside you. After that, you do not stop drinking entirely. But the rules change completely. And that brings us to the second myth, the one that wakes more seniors at night than almost any other. Number 6, the second myth, that if you only sip a glass of water in the evening, it cannot possibly disturb your sleep. This is the moment most seniors stop paying attention, and it is exactly the wrong moment to stop, because the size of your glass after 3 o'clock in the afternoon is not what matters most. What matters is how fast you drink it. When you gulp a full glass of water in 20 seconds, You are not handing your body a steady supply of fluid. You are handing it a sudden flood. Your kidneys register that flood and respond by accelerating. They process the volume faster than normal, push it downstream more aggressively, and within 90 minutes to 2 hours, your bladder is full and ringing the doorbell. In the middle of the afternoon, that is no problem. After dinner, it is the alarm clock you did not set. Let me put it to you this way. Imagine the difference between walking up a flight of stairs and sprinting up that same flight. The destination is identical. The number of steps is identical. But your heart, your lungs, your whole circulatory system respond completely differently. Walking is a request. Sprinting is an emergency. Your kidneys hear the difference between a sip and a gulp in exactly the same way. A sip is a request, a gulp is an emergency. And aging kidneys handle emergencies later, at less convenient hours, in your bed. After 3 o'clock in the afternoon, change one habit. Stop drinking and start sipping. Keep a small glass nearby. Take small swallows, just enough to keep your mouth comfortable and your throat moist. You are not depriving your body of anything. You are giving it maintenance hydration instead of a refill it does not need. Now, one more thing before we move on, because I see this constantly in my older patients. Many of you tell me you feel suddenly thirsty in the evening, especially around 8 or 9 o'clock, and so you drink a full glass to satisfy it. But that thirst is often not what you think it is. After 60, evening thirst can come from dry indoor air, from breathing through your mouth as you doze off in the chair, from a side effect of a medication you take with dinner, or even from a salty meal you finished an hour earlier. Drinking a tall glass of water will not fix any of those causes. It will only postpone them, and then your bladder will hand you the bill at midnight. If you are truly thirsty in the evening, take 3 slow sips. Wait, if the thirst lingers after 15 minutes, take 3 more. That is enough. And that leads us straight to the third myth, which has nothing to do with the glass in your hand and everything to do with the plate you ate from at dinner. Number 5. The third myth, that your bladder cares only about what you drink, not what you eat. This one will surprise many of you. Because most seniors I work with stop drinking water hours before bed, follow every rule they have ever heard about hydration. They still wake up 2 or 3 times in the night. They cannot understand it. They feel betrayed by their own bodies. But when I sit them down and ask one simple question, here is the truth they were never told. Your dinner plate has just as much influence over your nighttime bladder as your water glass does. Sometimes more. Start with salt. When you eat a meal high in sodium, and most of what we call convenience food is loaded with hidden sodium, your body holds extra water to balance that salt. The water does not leave. It is stored quietly inside your tissues, your legs, your hands, even your face. Sodium acts like a magnet inside your body, pulling water close and refusing to let it go. And that magnet does not weaken until something changes. That something is gravity. When you finally lie down at night, the pressure holding fluid in your lower body all evening shifts. The water begins flowing back into your bloodstream. Sugar plays a parallel role. When your blood sugar rises sharply after a sweet dessert or a heavy starchy meal, your kidneys pull that excess sugar out through your urine, and they pull water along with it. For seniors whose blood sugar is not perfectly controlled, an evening dessert can trigger nighttime trips they will blame on something else entirely. Let me tell you about a woman named Helen, a retired school teacher from Pennsylvania, 73 years old. Helen had stopped drinking water after 5 in the evening for over a year, following advice from a magazine article. She did everything right with her fluids, and yet she still woke up 2 or 3 times a night. Frustrated, she started keeping a small notebook on her kitchen counter, just a few lines about what she ate at dinner each evening. After 3 weeks, the pattern was undeniable. On the nights she had a frozen meal, a canned soup, or takeout from her favorite Chinese restaurant, her bladder woke her up. On the nights she had something fresh, a simple piece of fish, vegetables from her garden, or a bowl of homemade rice, she slept through. She had not changed her water. She had changed her salt. And her body finally let her rest. So here is what to do. Look at your evening meal with new eyes. Cut back on processed foods after 4 o'clock. Choose fresh, lean, simple. Save the canned soup, the deli sandwich, and the takeout for lunch when your body has hours of upright daylight to process the salt. You do not have to be perfect. You only have to stop ambushing your sleep with a salty plate at 7 o'clock. And that brings us to the fourth myth, which has nothing to do with what you put into your body and everything to do with what you do with your body in the 2 hours before you fall asleep. Number 4. The fourth myth, that what you do between dinner and bedtime does not affect your bladder. Stay with me here, because this is the myth that most surprises my patients, and even some of my colleagues do not explain it well. When you spend the evening sitting upright, watching television or reading in your favorite chair, gravity is quietly pulling fluid down into your legs and feet. You may have noticed it before. By 8 or 9 o'clock, your ankles look a little fuller. Your slippers feel a bit tighter. Your socks leave a slight indent above the ankle bone. That is fluid pooling in your lower body. It is not harmful in itself. It is simply what gravity does to an aging circulatory system over the course of an evening. But here is what no one tells you. When you lie down at night, all of that pooled fluid receives a new instruction. Gravity releases its hold, and the water that was sitting quietly in your legs begins flowing back up into your bloodstream. Your kidneys detect the rising tide and start filtering it out. Within 2 to 3 hours of lying down, your bladder fills and you are awake again. Think of a wet towel hanging on a clothesline. If you hang it up soaked, it drips for hours. The drops fall slowly, one after another, all night long. But if you wring it out firmly before pinning it up, it dries quickly and quietly. Your legs in the evening are that wet towel, and there is a simple way to wring them out before you go to bed. 2 to 3 hours before bedtime, elevate your legs. Sit in your recliner, or lie on the couch with your feet propped on a pillow above the level of your heart. 20 to 30 minutes is enough. What you are doing is encouraging the fluid in your lower legs to begin its journey back toward your kidneys while you are still awake, so it can be processed and emptied before you lie down for the night. A retired carpenter named Walter, 71 years old from Wisconsin, told me that this single habit, 20 quiet minutes of elevated legs while he watched the evening news, dropped his nighttime trips from 3 to 1 in under 2 weeks. He did not change a single other thing. He just gave gravity a chance to work for him instead of against him. One final note. Make sure you use the bathroom right before you climb into bed. That last trip clears out the fluid your elevated legs helped redistribute. And if you notice that your leg swelling does not improve with elevation, or that it gets worse over time, please mention it to your doctor. Persistent swelling can sometimes point to circulatory or kidney issues that deserve a proper look. But for most of you, this simple 20-minute habit is one of the most powerful changes in this entire video. And it brings us to a small pause and to one small favor I need to ask of you before we continue. If what you have heard so far is finally making sense of something you have struggled with for years, I want to ask you to do one small thing. Press the like button on this video right now. It takes 1 second, but what it tells the YouTube algorithm is this. Show this video to more seniors who are losing sleep, losing energy, and losing hope over a problem they were never properly explained. Your one tap can carry this message to someone's grandmother in Florida or someone's grandfather in Oregon who has been suffering quietly for years. And if you have not yet subscribed, take a moment and join us. I publish honest, practical guidance for adults over 60 every week. No supplements to sell, no fear to peddle. Just the truth, in plain English. Now, let us continue. Number 3. The fifth myth, that as long as you are drinking water, what kind of water does not matter. This is where many seniors get blindsided, because not every fluid you put into your body is treated equally, and some of them are wearing disguises. Caffeine is the first one, and most of you already know to avoid coffee after lunch. But here is what you may not know. Tea is also caffeinated. Green tea is caffeinated. Even some herbal teas labeled gentle or evening blend can contain trace caffeine. And the older you get, the slower your body processes caffeine. A cup of tea you sipped at 3 in the afternoon can still be circulating in your system, telling your kidneys to produce more urine at 11 o'clock at night. Caffeine is a slow stranger in an aging body. It overstays its welcome. Alcohol is the second disguise. Even a small glass of wine with dinner does 2 things at once. It tells your kidneys to produce more urine, and it quietly suppresses the very hormone that helps your body conserve water during sleep. I am not asking you to give up wine. I am asking you to notice. If your nighttime trips are heavier on the evenings you have had a glass of wine, the wine is part of the story. Carbonated drinks can irritate the lining of the bladder and create a feeling of urgency, even when your bladder is not actually full. Citrus juices, tomato juice, and other acidic drinks have the same effect on some seniors. They are not poisons. They are simply ingredients that aging bladders find more sensitive than they used to. So here is a simple rule that has helped many of my patients. After mid-afternoon, every fluid you put into your body should pass through 4 checkpoints. Is it non-caffeinated? Is it non-alcoholic? Is it non-carbonated? Is it small in volume? If yes to all four, sip it in peace. If no to any one of them, save it for tomorrow's lunch. A small cup of chamomile or rooibos tea before bed is wonderful. A glass of wine, a soft drink, or a tall glass of orange juice at 8 o'clock is a setup for a midnight wake-up. And that brings us to the sixth myth, the one almost no one has ever told you about. Number 2. The sixth myth, that your bladder has a fixed capacity and there is nothing you can do to train it. This one I find particularly important because it is the myth that quietly steals power from millions of seniors. They believe their bladder is broken. It is not broken. It has been trained, slowly, over years, to send false alarms. Let me explain. With age, especially after 60, the bladder can develop a kind of hypersensitivity. It begins signaling fullness when it is only a quarter full. You feel the urge, you go to the bathroom right away, and only a small amount of urine comes out. The next time you feel the urge, the same thing happens. And without realizing it, you have taught your bladder that the moment it whispers, you will run to answer. Soon, it stops whispering and starts shouting. Over a single year, your bladder can shrink its functional capacity by half. Not because the muscle is damaged, because the nervous system has been trained to overreact. In the beginning, it only beeped when there was real smoke. But over the years, dust, steam from your shower, even a piece of slightly burnt toast started setting it off. The detector still works. It just cannot tell the difference between a real fire and a passing cloud of vapor. Your aging bladder behaves the same way. Think of a smoke detector that has become too sensitive over time. Most of the time, it is calling a fire that is not there. The good news is that you can recalibrate it. The technique is called bladder retraining, and many urologists recommend it as a first step before any medication. During the daytime, when you first feel the urge to urinate, do not rush to the bathroom. Wait 5 minutes. Distract yourself. Sit down, breathe slowly, finish what you were doing. After a week of doing this, stretch to 10 minutes. The week after, 15. Slowly, your bladder relearns that a quiet signal does not require an emergency response. It begins holding more before it speaks up. And at night, the same retrained bladder lets you sleep longer between trips. A viewer named Bernard, 70 years old, a retired engineer from upstate New York, wrote to me last spring. He had been going to the bathroom every hour during the day for nearly 2 years. His doctor confirmed no infection, no enlarged prostate, no diabetes. Bernard started waiting 5 extra minutes whenever he felt the urge. Within a month, he was going every 2 hours. His nighttime wake-ups dropped from 3 to 1. He had not taken a single pill. He had simply taught his bladder how to behave again. One important warning: if you ever experience pain when urinating, blood in your urine, or a sudden new urgency that feels different from your usual pattern, do not try to train through it. See your doctor. Bladder retraining is for the gradual, age-related frequency that so many seniors quietly accept as normal. It is not for acute symptoms. And now, we have arrived at the most important myth of all, the one I have saved for the very end, the one I told you about at the very beginning of this video, the myth that almost every senior in this country has been told to follow and follows faithfully every single night, believing it is good for them. Number 1, the seventh myth, and the one I want you to remember above all others, that you should drink a large glass of water right before bed to protect yourself from strokes, heart attacks, and blood clots during the night. If anyone has ever told you this, your neighbor, your sister, an article in a magazine, a morning television show, even a well-meaning family member, I need you to listen to me very carefully right now. The advice sounds protective. It sounds reasonable. Dehydration is real. Thick blood is real. Strokes during sleep do happen, and so people drink that final glass of water at 10 o'clock at night, climb into bed, and feel responsible. They feel that they have done something to keep themselves safe. But here is what almost no one has explained to you. Your body has a built-in system designed exactly for the hours you sleep. Your brain releases a hormone called antidiuretic hormone, ADH for short, that tells your kidneys to slow down their urine production while you are asleep. This is a gift your body gives you every night, automatically, so that you can rest for 6 or 7 hours without your bladder pulling you out of bed. It is one of the quiet miracles of human biology. And when you drink a tall glass of water right before bed, you override that miracle. You flood your system at the exact moment your body is trying to conserve. Your kidneys have no choice but to process the fluid you just gave them. The hormone is overwhelmed. The bladder fills. And the sleep you needed, the sleep your heart, your brain, your immune system, and your blood vessels all depend on, gets shattered into pieces. Here is the cruel irony. People drink that bedtime water in the name of preventing strokes, but fragmented sleep is itself one of the strongest known risk factors for stroke, for heart attack, for high blood pressure, for memory decline, for falls, for nearly every condition we associate with declining health after 60. You are not protecting your heart by drinking that glass at bedtime. You are wounding the very system that protects you. So what should you do instead? If you are genuinely worried about overnight dehydration, here is the truth. Hydrate properly during the day, as we discussed in Myth 1. Sip a small amount in the evening if needed. Keep a small glass on your nightstand in case you wake up thirsty in the middle of the night. And then trust your body to do what it was designed to do. Your kidneys, your blood, and your ADH hormone are already collaborating to protect you while you sleep. They do not need a flood at 10 o'clock. They need you to let them work. The one exception to all of this is if your doctor has specifically told you to drink fluids at certain levels because of a medical condition or a medication. Follow your doctor's guidance always. But for the general population of seniors who have been quietly drinking that glass of water before bed out of fear, that fear may have been costing you the very thing that keeps you alive and well. Deep, uninterrupted, restorative sleep. You front-load your hydration before 2 in the afternoon when your kidneys are most efficient. You shift from gulping to sipping after 3 o'clock. You watch your salt and sugar at dinner because a salty plate quietly floods your system overnight. You elevate your legs for 20 minutes before bed, wringing the wet towel before you hang it for the night. You audit every fluid in the evening through 4 checkpoints. You begin retraining your bladder by waiting 5 minutes when it first whispers, so it learns to whisper instead of shout. And you let go, once and for all, of the well-meaning lie that a glass of water before bed is keeping you safe. Let me bring this all together for you, because these 7 myths do not stand alone. They work as a single system. Each of these changes is small. None of them is dramatic. But together, they can give you back the one thing that this stage of life depends on most. A full night of sleep, not 5.5 hours, broken into fragments. Not 7 hours interrupted 3 times. A full, quiet, uninterrupted night. I want to leave you with this thought before you go. You are not broken because you wake up at night. You are not weak. You are not too old for this to change. Your body is still listening. It is still capable of doing what it was designed to do, if you give it the right conditions. And sometimes, the difference between feeling exhausted at 68 and feeling rested at 78 is not a new medication, not an expensive supplement, not a procedure. It is a small, quiet shift in when and how you drink your water. You deserve to sleep through the night. You deserve to wake up looking forward to your day, not bracing yourself against it. And you deserve to walk through your later years with the energy, the clarity, and the independence that make every day worth living. Start with one myth from this video, just one. Try the change for a single week and notice what your body tells you. Then come back, write a comment, and tell me which one you tried. I read these comments, I learned from them, and I share what I learned with everyone else watching. If you know someone, a spouse, a parent, a sibling, a friend, a neighbor, who has been quietly suffering with this for years, please share this video with them. It may be the conversation that finally helps them understand what is happening and what they can do about it. And if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, do it now. I am here every week with clear, honest, practical guidance for people in their later years. No gimmicks, no fear, no products to push, just the truth. In plain English, from someone who has spent a career listening to seniors like you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for trusting me with your time tonight. Take care of yourself. You are worth every minute of rest your body has been waiting to give you. I will see you in the next video.